Well, wow. This might be my second favorite game of all time, after Stellaris. I am shocked. I've been playing this game non-stop for a while, and only reason I stopped playing this game is just to record this video. This game is good. I simply love it. You are interested in details and you don't want me just dropping a jaw and gushing the game. You want me to talk about this game. And yep, in this video we're going to be reviewing Age of Wonders 4 and deciding whether it is worth it to buy right now or not. So without further ado, I guess let's just get it started. And as always, as every single one of my videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away. And the answer is resounding yes. If you are a fan of strategy genre, whether it's a real-time or turn-based or whatever it is, this game is absolute masterpiece. Yeah, of course it's not perfect, but this game is as perfect as a game of such caliber can be. And do you know what's the most amazing thing? It does not even cost $70 on launch. And it does not cost even $60 on launch. It costs $50 on launch. And that's for tier 1 countries. It's $33 for tier 2 countries. You hear Redfall? That's how you should do it. And yeah, I've heard a lot of people having a lot of issues, and we're going to be talking about the performance of this game as well. But right now, wow, this game is amazing. But you're probably interested in details, so yeah, let me just take you to the details of the game. Oh, and by the way, our Steam Curator page is already up and running, so if you want to see all of my reviews, videos, and a little bit of text review right there on Steam before you're gonna buy anything, just go and follow us there on Steam so that you will not miss my reviews when you are buying the games. Now back to the video. Okay, what even is Age of Wonders 4? Well, it's a bit difficult to explain as simple terms as possible because this game is insanely complex. But, well, in reality, it is a turn-based 4X strategy. And this game is and a lot of people will be comparing this game to Civilization series. And to be fair, it's not entirely a correct comparison. I would say that this game is the mix of Civilization series, Total War series, Divinity Original Sin type of games, or ARPGs if you want, and with a sparkle of maybe Crusader King series or Stellaris. Yes, that's a mix of all of those things, and if you loved all of those games, you're gonna love this one too. And what this is the simulator of the fantasy kingdom. That's as simple explanation as possible to explain in this game. Core gameplay wise, it's very reminiscent to Civilization games, but it's a bit more complex as well. So let's start with the very beginning, with the choice of race. And because the game is entirely built against the fantasy, you are going full on crazy with your choice of race and your kingdom, because you have an ability to play with whatever mix and match of fantasy tropes that you want all the time. Like, you can choose anyone that you want. Like, you want to play with the righteous humans who are worshipping order and light above all things? Well, you can't do that. You want to play with the necrotic or necromantic frog people? You can't do that as well. Want to play as a pyromancer rats? Well, you can do that as well. Game has a bunch of different, well, fantasy tropes and fantasy kingdoms pre-built, but it also allows you to build your own race, which is great, allowing you to play in whatever way you want, including the ability to play with, well, freakishly evil races as well. And at first, this variety can be a little confusing, but it's actually pretty straightforward and pretty great. But how it plays? Well, this first part is a mix of Total War and Civilization. You're playing it very similar overworld map where you have different turns, and during those turns you have a certain territories that you can move your units in, and you can combine multiple units into one larger armies. Also, you have your hero units as well, which are those powerful heroes that are leading your state. You move on with this map, and map is littered with a bunch of different things to discover, like places of magic, different resources, and even places of quests where you can send your armies to, well, kind of solve a mini quest and mini dungeon thing, where you have an entire story written in front of you and you can make decisions on how you can tackle this story. Also, your heroes and, well, people in your nation can have a certain quests as well. They can give you this quest, just like in Crusader Kings or even Stellaris, and you can solve this in different ways, and you can do this by following your own races and your state's core core principles, or you can just move away from it entirely, shifting your nation to a different path as well. Like for example, you can switch from a light to a dark, or you can go and transform your nation into completely different creatures as well. And unlike in Civilization, you don't need to find the specific places to establish your, well, cities, because you can establish outposts in basically any place that you want, unless this territory is already claimed by anyone else. You can establish the post there, and eventually you can transform it into the city. And more population your city has, more territories it will allow you to claim by spreading into larger and larger and larger territories, allowing you to build a gigantic cities. Map is also littered with the free cities where you can start establishing diplomatic relationships with them, and eventually you can even integrate them into your own state. Every single race has their own goods and bads and wants and needs, and you need to control all of those things. And this game is insanely complex. It has so many small things that you can take care of that it is mind-blowing. And mastering this game will take quite a while, but when you will do this, well, this game will transform an ultimate role player's dream. One great thing that you can also do in Overworld map is you can actually use spells. Before that, you actually have a development system, and development system is it's through your development tree and through your tomes. And yes, I'm getting a bit deep into the game, but this game needs to go into a deep. Tomes are kind of like choosing the direction of your development of your magic. Like you can go with light, dark, you can go with necromancy, pyromancy, cryomancy, you can go and learn arcane magic, and after you choose a certain tome, then you are given an ability to study certain spells. And these spells can be used on an overworld map, and the spells can be different things, adding permanent buffs to your country or to your units, or permanently changing them entirely, or even summoning different units and affecting your enemies or allies and things like that. After some time, when you level up, you can actually choose other tomes of the higher tiers, and you can continue like that one after another, going into the more and more powerful magic, changing everyone in your country, including your heroes. Eventually, you can even ascend your heroes into a godhood, which will create a pantheon of gods from all of your playthroughs, which will affect your future playthroughs, which is insane meta and amazing thing to have. But what about the combat? Well, combat is where Divinity Original Sin or even XCOM 2 type of game will actually show itself, because when you get into a battle, just like in Total War series, you are going into, well, battle itself. And battle is not real time. Battle is the turn-based as well, but it controls just like Divinity Original Sin. You're controlling each of your units, and you have your certain, well, action points that you can use, and also certain abilities for each unit to use. So you're basically moving your units into positions and then giving them orders to use either certain spells or attack or brace for attack and things like that. And after that, your enemy will do the same. It goes like that back and forth, which weirdly enough is very cool and very interesting as well. And because of insane sheer variety of units and variety of magical systems and spells that you have, and the amount of new spells and new systems that you can gain by playing the game, the combat is incredibly interesting. Usually in the Total War games, after some time, I just move on and auto-resolve the battle, which you can do here as well. But in many cases here, I don't want to auto-resolve the battles because it's very interesting to combat in the game. But even if you auto-resolve battles and you want to see how you actually performed, you can even see the replay of auto-resolve and watch an entire combat unfold in front of your eyes. Plus, even game has a customization for your heroes that you can find a gear and gear them up like in every other RPG. And to be fair, this game is insanely deep and well made. Now, I know a lot of people have grievances about the end game and how different races will actually feel the same after a while, but well, to be fair, I didn't feel that way. And there will be always people who will find grievances in things like that, because yeah, there is no game is perfect. But my god, I was shocked how good this game is. But let me tell you about one thing that might not be for everyone and might stop you from buying this game, and it is a performance. You see, a lot of people talked about performance issues, but also I want to pay attention to one thing. A lot of people who talked about performance issues got early access review keys. and most of the people who talked about the issues were those people who played the early codes of the game. I didn't get early access code. I got the game on release like majority of people, like practically everyone else. Also, a lot of people actually complained about launching issues with the game, but I think there are already fixes that helps to alleviate that. So game, even though it had some performance issues, it's nothing close to what Redfall or Star Wars Jedi Survivor had. I think it's safe to buy the game. I actually have the game on 2 separate platforms, on Steam and on GOG, and I actually played the GOG version mainly, even though I played a little bit of Steam as well, and Steam did not have any issues. But on GOG, I have to say that I had only one issue. It's nothing to actually talk about, but I will still say it just because I won't lie that I didn't have anything. Only issue that I had was during the installation of the game. When I was downloading, the downloading just got stuck at 92% for some reason and did not continue, and that gave me an error. But the only thing that I had to do is just download it again. And because the game is around 14 gigs, it was not any issue for me. So that's the only issue that I had. No performance issues in the beginning and no performance issues after a few hours of the game. And even later in the game, I didn't have any performance issues or any crashes. Does not mean that you won't have one, but just saying that I didn't have neither on GOG nor on Steam. So should you buy this game? Well, if you are a fan of fantasy genre and you like 4X games and you're not afraid of complex systems, then yes, this game is must buy. If you didn't get into a Civilization game because it felt so slow, it didn't feel like you didn't have enough things to do, here you're gonna have enough things to do even in earliest game. And the more units and more expansion that you have, more things to do you will have in this game, and it is insanely good. I loved it, and I advise every one of you to get this game, even on launch, if you can afford it, of course. But if you can't, just wait for sale a little bit. Oh, and about premium edition, I actually have a premium edition on GOG, and it just gives me access to the future DLCs. So I would not say that it's must buy because you don't know what future DLCs will be yet. So I would say just go with the base edition first, and if you like it, then maybe buy an expansion pass. Maybe, but not before the game, but not before the expansions will come out, just to be safe. Our YouTube memberships are up and running, and if you like videos done by me, and if you like the reviews that I put out and everything else as well, consider hitting the join button near the subscribe button under this video. This might not be a lot for you, at least for some of you, but it will be tremendous help for me keeping this channel going. Well, I guess that's it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.